So welcome back and thanks for joining me for another week where I pretty much geek out about metal. I hope all of you guys are doing really well, and I know that the situation is improving slowly but surely, but I hope that all of you guys are doing alright. Purveyors of gloom, Paradise Lost are a band that thrive off misery and despondency, two qualities that come with being quintessentially northern. I joke. But seriously, Paradise Lost are hugely responsible for a lot of the doom metal movement and have moved throughout many different sounds during their career. It seems then that they are the perfect soundtrack to this lockdown with their 16th brand new album, Obsidian. The band as a unit have a sound which really kind of has a sense of direction, and as much as I thought Medusa was a good album, I feel like it didn't have the kind of directive that Obsidian does. I also think that similar to Catatonia, on Obsidian there's definitely a kind of classic rock sound to the band, which I think gives it a bit more of an accessibility and a bit more of an immediacy, really. Hope Dies Young, for example, has a pretty straightforward drum beat that kind of builds and builds and even ends on this kind of crescendo of double pedal. Obsidian as an album sounds really big, and I think that's really down to the atmosphere. It's cleverly bookended by Darker Thoughts and Ravengast, and both of these tracks have cello, violin and piano to really create that sense of a grand atmosphere.
Healing the lost so deluded.
But then you've also got 80s style Sisters of Mercy worship on Ghosts, and then there's kind of more classic Paradise Lost sounds on Serenity and Fall from Grace. But they also keep up that heavy quota on The Devil Embraced and Forsaken. So really you have a lot of sounds to choose from the Paradise Lost back catalogue. Really, I think the men of the match on this album, when it comes to melody, are definitely Aaron and Greg's fantastic weeping guitar leads. There will be sections where, you know, the lead guitar will stand out, but Greg has this way of kind of almost mimicking the rhythm section, but using the main sort of sense of melody that makes up whatever the chord is to really create a memorable hook. However, the melodies often are strong enough that they become a pillar of the song, for example on Fall from Grace in that chorus section.
As we fall from grace.
But then the band are able to surprise you with this same song, but they've got a fantastic bridge which uses a similar melody that we've heard before, but changes it ever so slightly to create that sense of tension. It also has to be said that the guitar solos on this album are really fantastic, and I think they're probably the most adventurous guitar solos Paradise Lost have had in quite a while. The songwriting is so fluid that you can really tell that it's been painstakingly looked over with these kind of layering melodies to create all those harmonies, and really looked at exactly what needs to be there and what doesn't need to be there. And that's, I think, what elevates this album like quite a lot higher above some of Paradise Lost's other work. There's no one specific era that you could attribute to Obsidian, and I think that's great because it doesn't fall on the laurels of the band's past glories, but instead brings together everything that we've seen from Paradise Lost throughout their discography, and in doing so not only illustrates just how vital they are to the overall Doom community, but also just how brilliant on album number 16 their songwriting still is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this album review. If you did learn a little bit more about Paradise Lost and their new album Obsidian, please do hit that like and subscribe button. You can also follow me over on Instagram and Twitter at The Metal Tris. So please sound off in the comments section below, and I'll see you guys next week for another album review. Take care, my friends.